Well, bless the Lord. I want to thank the good Lord. As you guys know, that this channel, God's Heaven is a Real Place, was developed, and the reason why I came on the air was for such a time as this. Amen. You guys know my testimony. My first post was the people called by his name. And the move of God has happened, especially for New York, because we're just pretty much COVID free. Amen. And those of you that have been following the channel know exactly where I'm coming from. For those of you that might see this post for the first time, please go to the channel God's Heaven is a Real Place on YouTube, and you'll see a whole bunch of videos. Anyway, the reason why I am posting this one, because the Lord had me and told me to respond to this big lie, and it looks like doctors with more degrees than me have been baffled. Amen. But because I know the creator of doctors, because I know the creator of science, because I know who the man, the God who knows everything, and as I challenge you guys that listen to this channel, you might want to hang out with somebody that knows everything, amen, and especially somebody that loves you enough to die for you, amen, and that can change your circumstances, amen. So I'm going to play a little of this video, and then I am going to respond and tell you exactly why this is happening. What has happened is the CDC is now saying we need less testing, and the doctors are baffled, but I'm going to spell it out for you as it came from on high to me. Amen? So now let me go ahead and play this video real quick, and then I will respond.
Welcome viewers in the United States and around the world. When the president repeatedly suggested he wanted to slow down testing in America, it appears that has now become a reality. CNN is learning the administration pressured the CDC to abruptly change its guidelines on who should be tested for coronavirus. To give you a sense of just how much things have suddenly changed, take a look at this comparison of the CDC website then and now. Previously, the agency recommended tests for, and I quote, all close contacts of persons with SARS-CoV-2 infection. Now the CDC says even if you have been in close contact for at least 15 minutes but don't have symptoms, then you don't need a test, unless you're a vulnerable individual or advised to get one by a healthcare provider or public health official. CNN Sarah Murray is in Washington with more. Sir, can you tell us how and why this happened? Because what's so startling about this is we all know the high number, the high percentage of people who are positive and asymptomatic.
Absolutely, and we know how important testing of those individuals has been for efforts like contact tracing, and we've heard public health officials talk about how this is so important to be able to get the virus under control, is to be able to test, to be able to do contact tracing, and this seems like really contradictory guidance that we're getting from the CDC. My colleague Nick Valencia, Kristen Holmes, and I are reporting that this is actually a directive that is coming from the top down, and we're not getting a lot more explanation of what exactly that means or why this change has been made. The CDC is not answering questions about why it changed its own policy. In fact, it's just kicking these inquiries over to Health and Human Services. So we asked them, what's going on? Brett Gerard gave us a statement that said this guidance has been updated to reflect current evidence and best public health practices, and to further emphasize using CDC-approved prevention strategies to protect yourself.
Now that guy works for Trump, and he's all in on Trump.
It doesn't say what this new evidence would be that would suggest this new change in the testing strategy. And Anderson, I gotta tell you, you've been hearing it on our air this morning. The public health experts that I've talked to are just baffled by this. They do not see how this helps get the virus under control whatsoever. Now we are expecting...
Okay, I'm pausing it right there. They're baffled. Here is the deal. This president is done. He is not going to be reelected, but he doesn't get that. So he is trying his best to do anything he can to lower the cases, because he thinks that if we test less, then they'll find less cases, and then it'll look like he's doing a great job. The cases are going down. We got 178,000 Americans dead because of his incompetence and foolishness. Okay? So here is from on high. The reason why he's doing this, and for you guys that are baffled, all right, the CDC doctors, we just don't understand. The reasoning behind this is Donald Trump has pressured the CDC to stop the testing because he want to lower the cases, because he's hoping that by the time the election could come. He could stand up there and lie to the American people that, see, the great job I'm doing, the testing is going down. But in the meanwhile, that's like you going to the doctor and you got cancer and you don't want to take the test. And the doctor says, well, look, let me take the test to see if you have it. If you have it, then we could treat it. If you don't, I'll let you go. But you say, no, 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 no. I don't want the test, right? And so then you go home and then you drop dead. This president needs to be out of office now. The Republicans made a mistake. They should have followed suit and impeached him, but that's okay. All this is pointing to this November for you to get it right. This is a God's channel. So this is really the shout out to my evangelical brothers who voted for this guy by mistake for the last time. Forget it. You move on. You've been forgiven. Get it right this time. This is the guy that we got here. 178,000 Americans gone, and he's still messing around. Now, because of this lower testing, who knows how many people are going to die by November the 3rd? Okay? Who knows how many? But this is why we have to open our eyes. And this is why the good Lord created this channel, because there's got to be a Christian. There's got to be a man of God that will tell you the way Jesus would tell you if he was here. Remember when Jesus turned over the tables, right? When they were selling all kinds of stuff inside the temple. And he said, you have turned my father's house into a den of robbers. Okay? This here is the direct result of a president that is desperate and he doesn't care how many Americans die. And that's why he needs to be out of office. That's why he should have never been in office. You can't hire a guy that cheats people out their real estate, out their business to run your country. He did a horrible job as a businessman. And he's been a horrible president.